Welcome to Destination Whitetail. This week we're heading to Georgia. The Peach State is known for its rich history and the contribution towards making the country what it is today. But when it comes to deer, they just started to gain recognition in recent years. Due to management efforts, the deer have gotten older and bigger, and that's starting to put the great state of Georgia on everybody's minds.
Georgia is a state that hasn't always been known for its deer hunting opportunities, but rather for its rich history of conservation efforts, and more recently for its harvest increase in quality bucks. The reported number of white-tailed deer by the state of Georgia in 2017 was an estimated 1.27 million. A fair number by today's standards, right? Well, considering that back in the late 1800s that number had dwindled down to nearly zero, today's reports are nothing less than astounding. Due to overhunting and land clearing for farming, deer were on the brink of extinction in the Peach State. As you see here, any rare buck harvest in the early 20th century was quite the community event. In 1884, a man by the name of Arthur Woody was born in Suchez, Georgia. At age 11, in 1895, he watched his father kill what was reported to be the last deer in the northern Georgia mountains. Ironically, later in life, Arthur would grow up to be the man credited with bringing deer back to the mountains. Some called him the Barefoot Ranger, as he would often be seen walking through the woods without any shoes or socks. Others simply called him Ranger, as he served as a district ranger by the 1920s. In 1927, Arthur was set on correcting the deer population situation. He went to North Carolina and with his own money brought back with him 5 fawns, 1 male and 4 females. Arthur raised these deer himself and released them into a refuge 1 year later. It is known that one of his favorite mottos was, "Do what needs to be done and ask permission later." 13 years later, and after importing more deer from multiple other states, the deer population had grown to over 2,000 whitetails. Due to his and others' efforts, the deer population only continued to grow throughout the following years. However, for many years, the state was still having trouble getting the deer to mature. Up until the 1990s, the average buck harvest in the state was only 1.5 years old. Something had to be done. After the state came up with 10-year management plans and a general consensus amongst hunters to be more selective of the deer they harvest, the reports have since showed many more bucks harvested around 3.5 years of age and older. Nowadays, some of the best places to find a trophy buck in Georgia are in the southwestern parts of the state and even around the metro area of Atlanta. Without too much hunting pressure near the city lights, many big bucks live out their days in the suburban landscapes nearby.
Hey y'all, it's September 23rd. Just pulled up out here in the Twiggs County. We're gonna see if we can't put some deer in the freezer. Anyway, y'all stick around. We're gonna see if we can poke a hole in one.
Destination Whitetail is brought to you by Browning Trail Cameras, by Thompson Center, America's master gun maker, by Analogics, protect your herd with the power of science, by Sever Broadheads, straight through it, Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations, and by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable.
Welcome back to Destination Whitetail. Now we're going to follow along with a local do-it-yourself whitetail hunter who holds nothing back. Here's Tanner Edenfield.
Hey y'all, it's September 23rd. Just pulled up out here in the Twiggs County. We're gonna see if we can't put some deer in the freezer. I'm Tanner Edenfield. I'm from Gray, Georgia. And well, I've been hunting as a little kid, you know, 5, 6 years old. I'd take my little bow out in the woods and go sit and wait on a deer. And then I guess you'd say the reason I hunt is I'm just addicted to it. Something about watching that arrow disappear behind the shoulder of a big buck just does it for me. And you know, ever since I shanked that first one behind the house, it's been kind of my thing.
Archery season in Georgia typically opens the second week of September. Up to 12 deer can be harvested per person, 10 antlerless and 2 bucks. One of the bucks must have at least 4 points that are 1 inch or longer. This is one of Tanner's first sits of the season, and he's out to simply start filling his doe tags and put some hard-earned venison on the table.
She fell over right there. Man. Yep, she's down. She ain't going nowhere. First deer of the season. I watched her for freaking 20 minutes before I could get a shot, and man, she finally gave me an opportunity. And I drilled her. She might have ran 20 yards and fell over. Thank you, Lord. So I'm gonna go ahead and get down and go ahead and get her taken care of, get her chopped up, get the jerky making process started. There's my deer. I'm gonna walk off, see how far she went. I walked it off at 15 yards. It's my exit hole. There's my entry. For reference, I was aiming at the bottom of here, so she dropped that much. I'm gonna play in a slow-mo in the video. Ain't quite as big as I thought she was. Looked like probably a yearling doe, probably about 1.5 years. But it's meat in the freezer. You're down here, you're gonna cross that ditch. Either gonna have to drag her across that 300-acre clear cut, or see if I can get somebody from this club to come out here with a four-wheeler and help me. I'm gonna hope that's the case. I started to drag her to the side of the interstate and come back to my truck and get her, but I think it's gonna be easy to get somebody to help me. Oh goodness. That's going all tangled up in the vines. I'm gonna let y'all go so I can get to work. Up here at the top of the hill, got a buddy gonna meet me up here with a golf cart. But man, isn't that beautiful? Looking out through there. What a great day.
With the push of a button, the new Oracle range-finding bow sight from Burris instantly calculates the exact distance and angle to your target and provides an aiming dot to take the guesswork out of making that shot of a lifetime.
Well, y'all, the jerky making has started over here at my cousin Rock's house. He's in one sink, I'm in the other, getting her chopped up and ready to be jerkified.
What's up, y'all? I'm in here, I'm settled in. Couldn't help myself and check my trail camera, and man, I've got a picture of a freaking absolute giant in daylight on Friday.
The first time I ever seen that 11-pointer, I had put a camera out over some corn. Really, I just picked a spot in the middle of these pines and you know, just I'll kind of scatter corn piles just to see if I can get one kind of coming in and figure out maybe where he's bedding. You know, if he shows up within a couple, 30 minutes of dark or right before daylight, I feel like he's bedding close by. And I gave it about 2 or 3 days, and I felt like he was in the area, and so I gave it a couple days and waited until the moon was overhead about 6 p.m. I go out there and check my trail camera, and sure enough, there he was. So I'm like, man, this is it. I'm stoked. I'm thinking, there's a good chance he's gonna come in. Anyway, so I'm sitting hunting. It's hot as all get out. I got in at probably 2 o'clock just in case, because this was, by far the biggest buck, would be my biggest buck. So I'm sitting there and sweating to death, and I just start praying. Put a dang prayer request on Facebook. I called my buddy that's a preacher, told him to pray for me to shoot this deer, which he did, but he told me if I killed it, I had to come to church on Sunday that week. Couldn't hunt. But anyway, so I got everybody praying for me. I'm freaking out, thinking, man, this deer's gonna come in. Right before 7 o'clock, I hear a deer blowing, and I'm thinking that's probably him. My 11-pointer, he just came walking right in, not acting real spooked. And so he gets in there to 30 yards and he's quartering towards me, which I don't feel comfortable making a quartering towards shot with a bow. It's just kind of risky. I didn't want to take that risk in this. I didn't feel comfortable making that shot. So I'm sitting there watching him, and he's refusing to turn broadside. I'm standing there holding my bow and everything, and I go to zoom in on him, and figured I might as well get some real good footage of him while he's standing there. And he looks up and sees me pinned in this tree, and man, I thought it was over. I just froze up and stood real quiet, and I bet you he stared at me for several minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. And finally he decided I was just a lump in a tree, and he put his nose down and turned broadside, and I drew back and I let her rip. Woo. Oh my God, I just killed a mother freaking monster. Oh, that is the biggest buck of my life by far. I just heard him crash. He's, oh my God, that's a 140-inch buck. Holy crap. Oh my God, I just heard him crash. He's down right there. Oh my, dude. Oh my God. I've worked so hard for this. Sorry, I had to take a minute. God. Man, I have worked so hard for this. This is 10 years of hard work. Dad, when I say killing that deer was the result of 10 years of hard work, what I mean is, as a kid growing up my dad's biggest buck was about right over 130 inches. So to me, I felt like if I could just kill one deer that big my whole life, then, you know, I'd kind of done it. Like, that was what you could expect, just one deer over 130 inches in a lifetime. So that's always what I've strove for. And I mean, I'll write a couple hundred letters a year to landowners, knock on a bunch of doors. I mean, trying to find properties that have them. So for the last 10 years, I have hunted basically, well, I mean, when I was in school, it was, you know, every afternoon after school, and then both weekend days and school breaks and stuff like that. And then now that I've gotten out of school the past 3 or 4 years, I've built my business in a way that allows me to hunt every day. So I literally hunt 90, 100, 100 something days a year. And so it's really mostly time in a tree stand, but it's also, you know, writing letters, running cameras. I've got 40, 50 places I have permission to hunt just from knocking on doors and stuff and trying to find a deer that big, or you know, shooting blind bells, shooting targets, and making sure I'm ready, stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I mean when I say it's 10 years of hard work.
Destination Whitetail is brought to you by Decked. Work smarter, play harder. Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry Plus technology. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt. By 10-Point Crossbow Technologies, there is no substitute. Get armed and deadly with EASTON FMJ arrows. By Sig Sauer Electro Optics, never settle. And by Matthews Archery.
What's up, y'all? I'm out today delivering some cube steaks to one of my landowners, but I've been having some people ask lately if I have any tips on what they can do to kill more deer or be a better hunter. And one thing I've been seeing come up more and more lately is you see people talk about treating being a hunter almost like being an athlete or something, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I think as far as training and nutrition and everything, sorry, y'all hold on 1 second for me. Anyway, y'all, like I was saying, I think something as simple as having the right nutrition can make a big difference in your hunting. A lot of people, you know, don't take it that seriously, and I think it's something that people ought to pay more attention to. I think if you don't have the right fuel in your body, it's hard to, you're not going to be able to sit in the tree as long, you're not going to be able to be as focused. So if some of y'all would just pay a little bit more attention to, you know, having the proper nutrition and the right fuel in your body, y'all kill more deer. What's up, y'all? It's January 9th. I'm going to ease out here. I'm going to try to kill that 4-pointer my buddy spooked the other day. He quit showing up over there where he spooked him, so I yesterday it was raining, I snuck over and checked out the other side of that property and found some trails with some rubs all over it. I'm thinking that's him, so I put a camera up, and sure enough, he showed up first thing this morning. So I'm gonna ease out here and get up in there and see if he comes by this afternoon. Got a neighbor over here that was nice enough to let me park in their yard, so it gives me a chance to get to the back side of it.
Does anybody need a turkey chair? Free to a good home. Just hit me up.
Honestly, I can't believe I even got a shot off. I had 4 does under me, one of them being a giant doe, and
she was running around running other deer off, and he come in and kind of busted them out, and I forgot my limb saw, and I wasn't that high, and I wasn't up to the branch I wanted to use as cover, and I just waited until he looked at the does and used that as an opportunity to get stood up. But I really can't believe I did that, but because he was walking up the hill facing right at me. A few times he looked my way. I couldn't tell if he was looking at me or the does because they were right under me. But anyway, was able to tag out here in Georgia, so I'm happy about that. This is a spear deer. So I was stoked to tag him, and called my brother. He helped me drag him out. I had to drag him like a mile, which sounds crazy being in a little block of woods, but I shot him on the neighborhood side, parked in a neighbor's yard, and then I didn't want to drag him out there, so I had to drag him the long way, all the way across 40 acres through the thickest crap you ever seen in your life, and got him out. So that was fun.